Welcome to Draft Central. I'm Bobby Krivitsky here with Evan Lazar and Taylor Kyles. Tight end is the position the Patriots have been pickiest about adding to in recent years. But Evan, if the first tight end off the board is bound for Foxborough, who's the better option between Cole Kmet and Adam Trotman?
Well, I had these two neck and neck the entire draft process. I finally finalized my grades at tight end, and I'm going to put Trotman over Kmet. I think the biggest reason why I have Trotman over Kmet is just the fluidity of an athlete comparison. I think Kmet's really good in a straight line. He's got that nice initial burst, maybe gets up to his top speed a little bit faster than Trotman does, and his top speed is a little bit higher end than Trotman's. But in terms of just flexibility, of nuance route running, ability to get in and out of a break, set up defensive backs, things of that nature, there's just a lot more fluidity there in Trotman's movements than Kmet's, and I don't think the blocking difference is that big where I would go the other direction. So I like Kmet, but he's really like a three-trait prospect to me, right? It's that initial burst and the ability to get up the seam, a big target, 6'6", 262 pounds, and the blocking ability, whereas I think Trotman can be more of a complete tight end.
Yeah, the versatility is what, for me, also puts Troutman ahead of Kmet. I think if you want to stick Kmet on the line as a wide tight end and just tell him, hey, abuse the seams, run block in that specific role where he's kind of running short or up the seam, I think he can succeed there. But Adam Troutman, I think, although Dayton is the red flag, he came from a smaller school, so it's more of a projection. But he's a tough guy. I love his attitude on the field. And with his athleticism, like you said, and his size, he's someone who I think can thrive in multiple spots in New England's offense instead of being how we've seen the tight ends recently, where if it's not Gronkowski and they're flexed out or they're playing these different roles, it's really more to put them as a body to maybe make rubs or, create some coverage indicators. But Troutman, if you split him out as an X, he's going to be able to run slants. He can even go deep, I think, to a degree. He's someone who can actually be a receiving threat in a lot of different places, as well as being a significantly good run blocker because of his size. His hand placement, like Kmet as well, could use some work, so that's more of something you're going to have to develop. But he's big enough that, like Belichick, we now know likes in his tight end one. Really, you just need to be someone who can get in the way. And I think once you develop him, he can become even more than that. So if you want to get I'm not going to say Gronk type as a comparison because that's obviously not fair, but for the role that they use Gronkowski in, I think Troutman, more than any other prospect, has the ceiling that he could get you a significantly good player that could be a good matchup piece.
Yeah, Troutman's just a better receiver right now than Kmet is, and probably will be at the NFL level too. I think when I watch Kmet and then you look at the combine testing also, that three-cone time is horrible. And just the ability to really change directions and get in and out of a break and create a horizontal cut and just move more than just a linear athlete is just not there. Whereas with Troutman, there's a lot more fluidity. The ability to be flexed out on the outside, I think, is a great point too. He showed a lot of jump ball skills in that tape against Jacksonville State, I think it was, where he just goes above 3 or 4 guys multiple times in that tape. And I understand Jacksonville State is not Alabama, but at the same time, you can still see the ability to go above the rim and win above the defense and be that kind of matchup piece down by the goal line. I mean, the guy that had 14 touchdowns at the FCC level, a lot of those came in the red zone. I think a big part of it too is if Trotman was 6'4", 245 pounds, then we'd be having a different conversation. But he's also 6'5", 255, so he's got plenty of girth to him as well and plenty of power in order to be a pretty good blocker too. Although I agree, and I think that right now Kmet's a little bit better in that regard, but I just think that Kmet, to me, in a lot of ways, is almost like an offensive lineman in a tight end's jersey out there, with that good initial burst being the only thing that separates him from like a left tackle. And I think that that's really what you don't want if you're the Patriots.
And Kmet's got the bigger name, bigger school, and all that. But Troutman, I actually think, is more of a nuanced route runner because you saw him try to attack blind spots and find those leverage points. So he wasn't just running his route. He was actually manipulating defensive backs to make sure he was getting as open as he could. And for a smaller school prospects, that's definitely something that jumps out. So, again, in terms of being a receiver, I think that Troutman's got the higher ceiling. And then as a blocker, I think they could probably be pretty similar prospects. So I really don't think it's much of a contest at this point.
Evan, as you alluded to earlier, Trotman has a basketball background. There's plenty of instances where that's evident on tape. And with Kmet, yes, he's a little bit bigger than Trotman, but I like the analogy comparing him to an offensive lineman. There's plenty of instances where Kmet ends up on the ground where he's caught lunging too far forward when trying to make a block. And so I have concerns about him in that regard. I think it's more the idea of someone who's that size with a 79-inch wingspan and great hands can also be a plus. when it comes to blocking. But Trotman, I think if the Patriots are going to take the first tight end off the board, he has higher upside. He's worth the long-term investment when you're comparing these two prospects. For Evan and Taylor, I'm Bobby Krivitsky. For all of our Patriots content, including Evan's big board featuring the 50 players who would fit best in New England, check out clnsmedia.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Patriots Press Pass.